Hello all sentient beings and welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk about all news, comics, and media related to thee. On this totally tubular episode of Transmissions Alt Mode, we review the two-part pilot episode for Transformers Beast Wars. We check out an interview with Marvel's new Death's Head comic book writer, and IDW's Transformers issue number 1 is getting a second printing. Today is Friday, April 26, 2019, and this is episode 126 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that's in the endgame now. I'm your host Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hello there.
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
How you doing? Let's talk Transformers. Is that dramatic enough?
Whatever it takes, Daryl. Whatever it takes. No? Okay.
Daryl has no idea that I was referencing something.
The Endgame trailer? No? Okay.
I've stayed away from them.
Oh. Anyway, as always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who give us money on Patreon and PayPal. You guys are amazing. If you would like to join their ranks, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and you'll get all the perks that being a Donatreon has, including special access to channels on our Discord server, which includes a Donatreon-only text channel and a Donatreon-only voice channel. So you can talk to fellow Donatreons on our Discord channel if you so desire. And it is right there in the channel list, so it should be relatively easy to find. So check it out. Also, if you don't want to become a Donatreon, you can also help the show by going to transmissionspodcast.com/shop and buying some merchandise from our TeePublic store. And if you buy anything from TeePublic through that link, that gives us a nice little bonus. So it's a nice way to help out the show and get some cool merchandise for yourself. So let's get started and talk about some comics news. All right, well, first up, we've got some more information on that new Marvel Death's Head series. There's an interview with the writer Teenie Howard on Marvel.com. So if you have an interest in that new Death's Head comic being drawn by our own Kei Zama, you can check out that interview. Next, we've got more stuff from the upcoming Transformers Ghostbusters crossover. This is the Ghosts of Cybertron comic series. Here, we've got an image from Tom Waltz teasing Starscream's Ghost, which is always, you can't have a Ghostbusters Transformers crossover without Starscream's Ghost. So,
although it is clear again here, they're using stamps for the Decepticon.
Yeah, painfully clear. But they're upside down, which is just like the G1 cartoon. So good on them for attention to detail. We've also got another set of 4 preview pages. This is a different set of pages than the Ashcan preview that was already put out at WonderCon last month and is available for digital download directly from IDW still. These sets of pages feature the Ghostbusters fighting a ghost, and it looks like we see the birth of Ectotron here. So there's no dialogue in these pages, it's just the artwork. It looks cool. Next, some news about the new IDW Transformers series that was rebooted last month. Apparently, Transformers number 1 was popular enough that IDW is doing a second printing of the first issue. So looks like the feedback from, or at least the sales figures from the first issue are very positive. So they can justify a second printing. So that's good news. We are still, we're missing a little bit of action in the next couple of issues. So I hope things are going to pick up in the next few issues. So, issue 1's always tend to do well, but if the comic story doesn't grab people, you get a severe drop off in the later issues. So hoping they can maintain some momentum. Next, we've got some new cover art from Jeffrey Varej. This is issue 6, the cover, his cover for issue 6 of Transformers, and this is the travel brochure advertisement covers that he's been doing. I think, Jeremy, these are ones that you like in particular.
I do, and I hate that I haven't found any of them yet. I'm going to just probably buy them online, but I love this one so much. It's so awesome.
Yeah, this one is taking the Sky Bridge. I guess it's from Cybertron to the moon, which is a cool image here. Not the Space Bridge, the Sky Bridge. Next, we've got a page from Transformers number 4. Tom Waltz, the editor, he likes to tease things on Twitter, so he put out another single page of artwork from issue 4 with no dialogue there. So it's just it's 4 panels showing 4 characters just looking like they're reacting to something. So not a whole lot you can get from this image, but it's the artwork is nice. I think this looks like it's Angel Hernandez here, and this is the first time we see Megatron in his style as opposed to Cachet Whitman's style, and Soundwave as well. So, and lastly, for comics news, we've got our solicitations, IDW Comics solicitations for July 2019. So, of course, Transformers 9 and 10 are coming. So we're not going to give any spoilers here. You can click the link if you want spoilers, but we'll just read the issues coming out. So Transformers 9 and 10 are solicited for July. Transformers Ghostbusters number 2. So the crossover started in June, is continuing in July. It's going to be 5 issues, so this is issue 2. Then we've got a pre-solicit for the first trade paperback of Transformers for the new series, Volume 1. This is supposed to collect issues 1 to 12 of the new series, and of course, by July, I think we'll only be about like 10 issues in, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, this is October release.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm
surprised 12 issues in one book.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
It's a hardcover too.
Wow. Okay.
So there you go. Yeah, $50.
Yeah. So if you're waiting for the trade, I guess you can wait till October to get the first, the first big arc, or maybe a couple of arcs of the series in one fell swoop.
Did you notice, going back to issues 9 and 10, Cachet Whitman is still listed as an artist, but Angel Hernandez is replaced by Beth McGuire-Smith on both issues?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I did see that, and I forgot to mention it. Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know if that means that's going to be like a long-term change, or maybe it's just Beth McGuire-Smith is filling in for this month. But yeah,
I don't know.
All right. One thing that I see is missing, though, because this was teased at WonderCon last month, the Transformers G1, Transformers 1984. That was supposed to come out in July, wasn't it? And that's not in the solicits.
I do not remember.
Yeah, I think it was. So that's kind of a bummer. Hopefully it'll come in August.
Yeah, I can't remember when that comes out.
Yep, so that's all the solicits for July 2019, and that's it for comics news. So let's move on to our classic TV show review.
All right. Yes, we are reviewing Beast Wars Part 1 and Part 2, the first 2 episodes of Beast Wars. And I'm going to be doing them as one entity because it is 2-parter. This aired April 22nd, 1996 as a preview, written by Bob Forward, directed by Ian Peterson for Part 1 and Steve Ball for Part 2. Yeah, this was the great return of Transformers to TV back after G1 had been off the air. The story is very basic here. I mean, just kind of setting things up. It opens with 2 ships fighting. We see kind of in darkness the crews of both ships because they didn't want to have to animate character models they wouldn't use more than once. The Maximal ship is damaged, and their crew are in the stasis pods that they release to orbit the planet that they're going to crash on. Both ships crash, and they find that there is energon on this planet, which is what Megatron was looking for. But Dinobot is upset that this is not Earth, which is they stole the golden disc, which was on, I believe it was one of the Voyager spacecrafts, and they were trying to go to Earth to get energon. Dinobot's like, this is not Earth. There's 2 moons and stuff, but there is way too much energon, so much so that they have to take beast forms that will protect them somehow from energon overload. The Maximals all scan mammal forms, and the Predacons all scan like insects and dinosaurs from bones and stuff. Basically, it's kind of the start of G1, but with animals. In testing out their forms, a Cheetor is spotted by Waspinator, which initiates the first conflict between the two groups. As Optimus Primal leads the group to go and rescue Cheetor. They're sidelined by Dinobot, who has left the Predacons, and he's challenging Optimus Primal for leadership of the Maximals. And that's the end of part 1. And part 2 picks up right where that leads off. They fight. Megatron and the rest of the Predacons show up, decides this is a great opportunity to get rid of 2 of his headaches. Obviously, it doesn't work out so well, but some missiles that are fired, I'm not sure who fires them, but they hit this mountain in the distance and reveals this huge, like, natural energon cache. So it's a race to the mountain, and when they get there, Megatron and Optimus fight. Eventually, I think Megatron fires a missile at Optimus. Dinobot shows up and alters, like, whacks it with his tail and alters the course, and it hits some of the energon. Huge explosion. And then Primal says that the Beast Wars have begun. So that's kind of a quick overview of the plot of these 2 episodes. This series was impressive in 1996 for the 3D or the CGI animation. I believe there was a series like Reboot before that were also done by Mainframe. This one, I think the animation doesn't hold up at all. But the story, voice acting, this you can even tell from here, it's still getting its feet under them. Some of the lines are very hokey, but the voice acting is great. And I don't know, it's looking back now as where it ended, you can see so many things here that are carried throughout the entire series. Like Dinobot, his sense of honor, Rat Trap, just convinced he's going to die every minute. Charles, you're the other one that likes the show. What did you think rewatching these?
Yeah, I was struck by how much they had planned ahead for this series. Like you can tell from the writing in this first episode that they've put a lot of thought and planning into, like, carrying the story into a longer arc. Like, it's not just, telling. It seems like it's just above what, like, was out there for current kids programming. Like, it's not a episodic storytelling. They're really building to, like, some.
It's a season long arc.
Yeah, exactly. Like they throw in the information about the Stonehenge architecture that is a mystery that gets resolved later in the season.
It's just like they just notice it, but that's it. It goes on to the Energon thing.
Yeah, the stasis pods, like that they planned that as a way to introduce new characters to the show, and they set that up in the first episode. All the the little catchphrases they have in this episode, like the "for booting up cold," that's a favorite of mine that Rat Trap says. That's Just Prime, and of course, yes, that's all that is right there. And the animation, there are the animation is very rough. I mean, for the time and for a TV budget, it's really impressive. But for 25 years later, of course, it's less so. But I still think what I think does hold up is the facial expressions. I think those are really well done. Yeah. Megatron in particular, and Optimus Primal's gorilla face. Those look really. They still look good. 25 years later. But things like the sword fighting between Optimus and Dinobot, that didn't hold up at all. I mean, just the animals walking and running doesn't doesn't look right. All the particle effects look pretty bad. Like when anytime there's like an explosion, that's all pretty terrible. But yeah, I mean they are really well done, well written shows. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have the stamina to go through a whole Beast Wars rewatch, but this did make me think, oh, maybe I can fit this in. But at least hit a few of the really good episodes. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I thought this was I remember watching. I was in college at the time when this show came up, and watching this and just saying, wow, this is I mean, also for someone who's into G1. There are little Transformers references thrown in. I mean, we do like this. The original story was that the writers they threw in some Easter eggs, but they weren't really planning to tie it directly into G1 at the beginning. And that changed as the series grew on. But in this first episode, they do they do provide a little bit of connection points. Like they mentioned the Great War. They, Cheetor says robots in disguise. Yeah, they talk about That's Just Prime. Yeah. So it's I think it's a really good start, and really a lot of thought went into this, which is made it very different from I think a lot of the programming that was on at the time. Yeah, definitely. Daryl, have you seen these episodes before? I mean, of course. You haven't watched the whole series. No, of course I have. So, what are your thoughts of Beasties episodes 1 and 2?
I mean, I've tried to watch the series numerous times over the years. Tried to watch them with my daughter, and that was difficult. She does not like them. For me, these are a difficult watch. With regards to my what I enjoy, it's the same as with comics. I'm visual, right? So yeah. If the show or the comic doesn't look good, I am disinterested, and this does not hold up. I mean, they tried something in 96 and it worked for 96, but something that came out in 84 still looks better than this. It's just it's the traditional animation is better than the computer animation of the day. Now, will we say that 20 years from now about the stuff we've got on TV these days? Who knows? But it seems that traditional animation is what seems to last.
Well, you're more forgiving, I guess, of traditional animation.
Well, I think it's the constant, right? It's been around since forever. I don't know when the first animated movie was or show was, but it's been around a long time. And essentially, as they've basically stayed the same. They've gotten better with regards to art wise, but there's not a lot of change with them. As far as the shows go, I mean, we talked about it before, but they're hokey. There's a lot of lines that they're trying to. I mean, it's the first two-parter. I mean, I've watched Code of Honor. I think it is Code of Hero.
Code of Hero.
I've watched that. I did enjoy the I think it was 3 episodes that
the agenda.
Yeah, that brought him in with the G1 arc. I've watched that. I've cherry picked out of the series just to kind of watch the good stuff, I guess. But yeah, these first 2 episodes, they're not good. This is where it starts, obviously, and this is where you wanted to start somebody on it, but they suck.
What I would like to see is somehow them re-release this with like modern animation. I mean, I know it'd have to be a complete visual redo, because I'm sure the assets that they have from '96 aren't good anymore for what, modern stuff. But they have 3D assets for at least like Optimus, Megatron, and Dinobot from the new toys. I mean, I'm sure that can translate.
Yeah. But then would that look shit in 20 years?
Well, I mean, look at things like the new Jungle Book, or not Jungle Book, but yeah, Jungle Book movie, and then the new Lion King movie. Those are all 3D animation. Mm-hmm. They say they're live action, but they're not. I'm sure in 20 years those are going to look dated.
It's possible.
Or like Dr. Pants here says in the chat, redo it as 2D animation. I think that would be fun too.
I might be able to get behind that.
Because I mean, there were a couple Japanese series that were 2D animated. Beast Wars Neo and Beast Wars Second.
Mm-hmm. Dinobot in the chat brings up: is this better or worse than the Prime Wars trilogy animated stuff? And I gotta say, no. There's no comparison there. I mean, okay, in terms of computer animation, yeah, the Prime Wars trilogy is 25 years later.
The models are better,
but yeah. Beast Wars is. I mean, the writing and the story is much better,
and the frame rate.
I agree that there's some of the dialogue is hokey, but there's hokey dialogue in the G1 cartoon as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the introductory episodes, I think they get the job done, I guess. But yeah, there are much better high points throughout the whole Beast Wars series.
Yeah.
Almost no first episode of anything is the best that series can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they were really kind of figuring things out even visually. So yeah, I mean like you said, it's not the best. Yes, that is it. We're not gonna, start a full Beast Wars review, but if you like it, let us know. And on these weeks where we don't have comics, we have to figure out something to review. So should we force Daryl to watch more of this?
No.
Well, Daryl, tell me
podcast.com/feedback.
Tell me why Canada thinks kids can't say the word war. I don't understand that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was 16 when this came out, so I mean, I wasn't even in the country. I was in Australia when this came out, so I don't even know. But
and you'd already learned the definition of war by then.
I had, yeah. I was born into it. The darkness. It molded me. No, I don't know. I don't know why they called it Beasties over here. But yeah, I don't think that still exists, because I'm scouring my brain for some modern example.
Infinity War was called Infinity War there.
Yes. So, yeah, I don't know.
Infinity Tees.
The Infinity Event.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm not finding anything on the wiki either.
Yeah, I mean, the 80s and the 90s were a little bit different. I mean, wasn't Britain, didn't they have to call G.I. Joe Action Force?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's because nobody knew what G.I. Joe meant in the UK. Like,
yeah, well, they had to call Ninja Turtles Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I mean, we're a confederation, or a colony as well. So maybe we were still under some kind of British law at that time. I don't know. Google it.
All right. Well, like I said, send us feedback if you'd like us to continue this. We have a vote in our Discord channel from Dr. Pants of maybe doing something for the whole series or just a season at a time. That might be fun. Force Daryl to spend the weekend watching Beast Wars.
That would be torturous.
Just listen. Close your eyes and listen. That's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to some Transformers media news.
We have got some Transformers TCG news. So we're getting private Trailbreaker card for the Transformers TCG. I don't know why they've added the word private in front of them. I mean, obviously it's his rank, but did we need that? Well, was it trademarked?
It's trademark thing, because you remember he was Trail Cutter for a while?
Yeah, but then they got Trailbreaker back. I don't know, maybe it was Autobot.
Trailbreaker is probably not a term that you can trademark because it's kind of generic.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'd argue that.
The interesting thing is, isn't this the Generations Trailbreaker, like from 2013?
Yeah, it is. I mean, do we have a newer one? I don't think we do.
The Combiner Wars one, or yeah.
I don't think we got one in Combiner Wars.
Yeah, we did. That's how we knew he went back to Trailbreaker instead of Trail Cutter.
I'm drawing a complete blank as to what figure you're talking about.
He was in the Optimus Prime Combiner.
I didn't get it, so I don't know it. Moving on. We're also getting new rules regarding the Infinite Combo deck. I have no idea about this deck. I have not been playing the game, so there's a deck out there that obviously has some kind of infinite combo that you will just be able to kill the person. So they have, looks like they've banned it or something to do with that deck. It says if you're using Chromia, Prowl, and Swoop together, you can probably get some kind of infinite combo.
The infinite combo deck thing, they removed a card from play, the swap parts card.
Oh, cool. Can I continue?
No.
Oh, okay. The WTF at TFW podcast has done a TCG show. They've been doing a lot of these lately. They seem to be the place to be for any trade card game stuff. And they are talking about spoilers from one of the guys involved, Drew Nolosco. So
yeah, he's the guy we met at TFCon.
Is he that one? Okay. I know they talked to two guys, and I don't remember which one was which.
I'm pretty sure it was Drew.
Okay.
The reveal shows a few cards. They have an Alpha Trion, which is the Titan's Return Alpha Trion art. They have a Fuel Cache battle card, then a Needle Nose Raider Needle Nose, and Needle Nose's alt mode is a Tetrajet. And then a Target Master Nightstick Raider Nightstick, and he turns into a Black Beam Blaster.
Okay.
I just thought it was interesting they turned Needle Nose into a Tetrajet. That's all.
Okay. Maybe some upcoming art.
Maybe.
Bumblebee movie. We have got some stuff about the Bumblebee movie. You can win a Bumblebee movie Blu-ray combo pack and a poster signed by the Bumblebee cast via the Redbox Instagram. So just go over there and do your thing, and you can enter that contest
till April 28th. So you don't have that much time left.
A couple days. Also, another concept art roundup. This is we've got some Cybertronian robots in this one. This one's kind of interesting. We got the concept art for RC, Brawn, Wheeljack, Ironhide, Ratchet, Shockwave, Ravage, and that's about it. But these are really cool to look at the concept art for them. They do give the artist credit. It looks like they are all done by Steven Zvala. I've never heard of him before, but he does have an Instagram account here, and it looks like he's an ILM artist. Take a look at that stuff there if it interests you. This is very good, actually. I like it quite a lot. And lastly, Ricardo Hoyos is they have an interview with him talking about his time recording and filming Bumblebee the movie, and he played the beach bully or the high school bully that was messing around with Charlie. He wasn't really a bully, was he? He was more like the kind of boy she was kind of interested in.
Guy.
Yeah.
The bullies were the girls.
Yeah, he wasn't the bully. He was the hot guy in high school. So yeah, it's not a long interview. It's a couple paragraphs. Take a look at that. And that's it for media news.
All right, well, let's move on to some convention news.
All right. We have a couple things here. First one is voice actor Stephen Keener is going to be attending TFCon Toronto 2019. He was the voices of Fortress Maximus, Hardhead, Hunger, Mindwipe, Scattershot, and Scorponok. And I believe he was at TFCon Chicago either this last time or the time before. But I just remember he was one of those that like was so overwhelmed that people remembered the work he did, because he's not in voice acting now. I believe he owns like a trucking company or something. So it'll be great seeing him back, I'm sure. We also have from TF Nation, they have announced a voice actor. Brian Drummond, the voice of Beast Machines Jetstorm, is going to be there. And Jetstorm was one of the major characters of Beast Machines. So he was also Armada, Blur, Energon, Shock Blast, Cybertron, Jetfire, and Jolt. So he's done a number of Transformers stuff. He's also been in Dragon Ball Z, some Gundam series, My Little Pony, or a lot of the Lego stuff, like Bionicle, Ninjago. So he's done a lot of voice acting stuff, so he will be there all weekend. I'm sure he's going to have panels talking to the fans, so it should be cool. That's it for convention news.
All right, and we will finish up the show with some feedback. We have another piece of feedback from Dual Mirrored Gridwork. He had a question on the toy show. Now he has one for alt mode. This is about the new IDW Transformers comics. He's asking, basically, why are we getting basically the same old premise, the same storyline with the new Transformers series? Is Hasbro not willing to step too far out of line? He sees the familiar elements of starting on Cybertron and then spilling over to Earth, but he'd like to see if we actually go to another world or another planet instead of Earth. Is that a possibility? So he's asking what if he thinks that's in the cards. Actually, I mean, I'm going to push back DMG and say that the reboot is giving us something we haven't really seen before, because you mentioned this, but we never really started on pre-war Cybertron with a Transformer story. Cybertron is like the start of the war has always been told in flashbacks, and we, as far as we know right now, when we interviewed the writer Brian Ruckley last month, he said that there aren't any current plans to take the series to Earth within the next few issues of the arc that he's telling. Like, we don't have a plan for a time skip and having them go to Earth and interact with humans at this point. The action is taking place fully on Cybertron for right now. And we do have a Cybertron where we have alien life here that is not robotic. So right there, that's something different, where Cybertron has been, in previous continuities, Cybertron has been this kind of planet that's isolated and not really interacted with other life forms. And here we see it's part of this galactic community and is accepting refugees from other planets and has little parasitic life living there. And so I think there are elements that are different, at least. And Brian Ruckley has gone on record saying he wants to provide a fresh take to the start of the war. So the reasons for the war are not going to be the same, and the conflict is not going to be the same. So I mean, it's a little bit frustrating right now because the start has been so slow. But I think what's going forward is not going to be a retread of what we've got before. At least it doesn't look like that's what it's going to be, in my opinion. Jeremy, do you have any additional thoughts?
Well, I was going to bring up a lot of the points that you brought up, but I think just the fact that it's set pre-war and we're spending so much time pre-war, that is different. You're not going to vary too much from the formula for Transformers. I mean, it's every incarnation has had some kind of civil war, and then they leave Cybertron for energy reasons, and then they eventually end up on Earth. That's going to happen regardless. But we've never seen the how, like you said, except in flashbacks. We don't know how long it's going to take to get to the war. It might be within this first year, it might not. I would imagine action needs to pick up at some point in the next couple issues, or Daryl's gonna just go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But with the whole like a Senticon thing and the terror attacks and stuff, we can have even action without breaking out into the full Civil War. I'm enjoying this new take, and I feel like this is something as different from anything else we've seen. It's like Beast Wars, like we talked about it. That was completely different at the time as well. So the previous IDW continuity pretty much started on Earth, and that's where the original G1 started out. So I'm glad that they're doing it this way.
Daryl, anything to add?
Not a lot. Jeremy and you got it pretty on the nose there. But I will kind of reiterate that this is three issues of boring ass reading right now. There needs to be something happen, and soon, because I am personally getting really, really bored. These are characters and that are capable of really exciting stuff, and they're not doing anything. Just have them chatting, which is ridiculous. Sure, I guess a planet in peacetime isn't very exciting. You can drum up some excitement somewhere.
Let's hope for some excitement next issue.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks for your question, DMG, and hope that answered it. All right. Well, that's it for feedback, and that'll do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
Did you actually go to school with Dr. Dre?
What? No.
All right. I don't know. You mentioned it in a show while we were recording. You're like, I went to school with him.
Daryl, just because they're both doctors doesn't mean...
Hey, they may have gone to the same medical school. I don't know. I don't want to assume.
Well, Daryl, thanks for waiting till we hit record to ask that, so then Mike can feel free to use it.
Yes.
Well, there's your outtake.
There you go.